Spending nearly 4 decades portraying one character on a beloved television series creates a rare kind of fame, one that offers security while quietly narrowing personal freedom. For Anthony Geary, best known as Luke Spencer on General Hospital, success arrived early and stayed relentlessly. Luke became more than a role. He was a cultural fixture, a character audiences welcomed into their homes daily. Viewers laughed, cried, and invested emotionally, while Geary himself lived with the weight of being permanently associated with a single identity. Public recognition opened doors, but also closed others, making anonymity impossible and reinvention difficult. Geary never chased celebrity culture and often felt uneasy in its presence, preferring privacy over attention. Over time, the admiration that surrounded Luke Spencer began to feel confining, transforming professional triumph into a personal challenge that shaped every decision Geary made about his career, his boundaries, and ultimately, his life beyond the screen. A quiet beginning from Hollywood, Anthony Geary was born in 1947 in rural Utah, a world far removed from television studios and celebrity culture. Raised in a small, tightly knit community, he grew up surrounded by simplicity, discipline, and strong moral expectations shaped by faith and family. His upbringing emphasized humility, responsibility, and thoughtful behavior rather than ambition or recognition. Geary's parents modeled perseverance and emotional steadiness, instilling values that would later ground him during intense public scrutiny. As a child, he was observant and inward-looking, preferring reflection over attention. Films fascinated him not as entertainment alone, but as studies in human behavior. He carefully noted performances, motivations, and emotional shifts, unknowingly training himself as an actor long before formal education. This early environment fostered empathy, discipline, and self-awareness, qualities that later defined his acting style and helped him navigate fame without losing his sense of self. Finding purpose through performance, during high school and later at university, Geary discovered that acting offered a space where observation and emotion could coexist. While traditional academic subjects held little appeal, the stage gave him focus and clarity. Performing allowed him to explore human complexity in a structured, meaningful way. A drama scholarship confirmed that his instincts were valid and his commitment justified. University training refined his natural intensity, teaching him discipline, emotional control, and respect for the craft. Geary approached acting not as self-expression alone, but as responsibility, believing characters deserved honesty rather than exaggeration. This mindset distinguished him early. He did not perform to be liked, he performed to be truthful. These formative years established a pattern that followed him throughout his career: deep preparation, emotional restraint, and a refusal to reduce characters to simple archetypes, even when audiences or producers expected familiarity over depth. Lessons from the stage. Before television fame, theatre became Anthony Geary's proving ground. Live performance demanded precision, presence, and vulnerability, offering no safety net. Each night required full emotional commitment, teaching him resilience and humility. His dedication earned recognition and opportunities, including working alongside established performers who respected his seriousness and work ethic. Touring productions exposed him to diverse audiences and sharpened his understanding of human response. Theatre taught Geary that acting was less about visibility and more about connection, a lesson he carried into television. These years also reinforced his preference for meaningful work over rapid success. Rather than chasing exposure, he invested in mastery. By the time television opportunities arrived, he was prepared not just technically, but emotionally, equipped to handle demanding roles without losing perspective. The stage shaped him into an actor who valued substance over spectacle, a trait that would later redefine daytime television. Entering television with integrity. Geary's transition into television was gradual and deliberate. Early roles allowed him to experiment within the medium without compromising his values. Even in brief appearances, his performances stood out for their restraint and emotional clarity. He approached each role as complete, regardless of screen time. This professionalism caught the attention of producers seeking authenticity rather than theatrical excess. When he joined General Hospital in the late 1970s, the role of Luke Spencer was intended to be temporary. However, Geary's interpretation transformed the character into something layered and compelling. He resisted simplification, portraying Luke as conflicted, wounded, and capable of growth. Audiences responded not to perfection, but to honesty. What followed was an unexpected bond between character and viewers, one that elevated Luke Spencer into television history and reshaped expectations for male characters in daytime drama. The cultural impact of Luke Spencer. Luke Spencer's rise coincided with a shift in television storytelling. Viewers embraced characters who reflected real emotional struggles rather than idealized heroes. Luke's relationship with Laura became iconic, not because it was flawless, but because it felt emotionally charged and human. A landmark wedding episode drew unprecedented attention, cementing the show's place in popular culture. For Geary, the success was bittersweet. While proud of the work, he recognized that Luke's popularity threatened to eclipse his own identity. Awards and acclaim followed, including multiple daytime Emmy wins, affirming his impact on the genre. Yet the industry increasingly viewed him through a single lens. Offers outside the role diminished, and the separation between actor and character blurred. Geary understood that Luke Spencer had become larger than the show itself, a phenomenon that brought admiration, pressure, and limitation in equal measure. Choosing privacy over persona. Despite immense recognition, Anthony Geary remained intensely private. He avoided celebrity culture, rarely discussed personal matters, and maintained firm boundaries between his public work and private life. While speculation surrounded him for years, he chose silence over explanation, believing authenticity did not require disclosure. His relationships, home life, and routines were intentionally kept simple and out of view. This commitment to privacy was not secrecy, but self-preservation. Geary believed that constant exposure eroded truth and that a meaningful life required space away from performance. Eventually, glimpses of his personal happiness emerged quietly, revealing a life centered on partnership, creativity, and calm. By stepping away from the expectations attached to fame, he reclaimed autonomy. His choices challenged the assumption that visibility equals fulfillment, demonstrating instead that peace often grows in places the spotlight never reaches, knowing when to step away. As the years progressed, the physical and emotional demands of long-term performance became undeniable. Injuries and exhaustion forced reflection, prompting Geary to consider what continuing truly meant. Leaving General Hospital was not a rejection of the character or the audience, but an act of self-respect. He chose to step away before resentment replaced gratitude, preserving both the legacy of Luke Spencer and his own well-being. Departure allowed him to redefine time, identity, and purpose beyond production schedules and scripts. It marked a transition from public obligation to personal intention. Rather than chasing reinvention on screen, Geary pursued fulfillment off-screen, embracing writing, reading, and daily rituals that nurtured balance. This decision reflected maturity and clarity, acknowledging that even the most meaningful roles must eventually end to allow life itself to continue evolving. A legacy. Defined by integrity, Anthony Geary's legacy extends beyond awards, episodes, or iconic moments. He reshaped daytime television by proving that emotional complexity could thrive in a format often underestimated. More importantly, he demonstrated that success does not require perpetual visibility. His life illustrates the power of defining one's own terms, even when the world expects permanence. By honoring his need for privacy, authenticity, and growth, Geary offered a quieter model of achievement. Luke Spencer will remain unforgettable, but the man behind the role leaves an equally important lesson. Fulfillment is not found in applause, but in alignment with one's values. In choosing peace over permanence, Geary showed that stepping away can be an act of courage, and that the truest performance is living honestly when the cameras stop.